Folks, I've never heard of this concept in my life, and that therefore I'm super excited. I mean, entrepreneurial compassion, you usually don't think about those two words together, but welcome, Cal Riley.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, I mean, entrepreneurs tend to have this stereotype of being grit, hardcore, hopefully not cutthroat, and then you have the word compassion, which
Right.
so talk to us, like where is this coming from?
Yeah. So to your point, right? As entrepreneurs, we have this inherent drive that, like, I like to say, you couldn't pry it out of our cold, dead hands. Like, it's not going anywhere, right? There's nothing you can do to get rid of it. You just have it, right? Some of us just have that.
Right.
Um, but sometimes that drive can kind of push people away, right?
Mm.
It can be off-putting to people. It can seem like we're trying to get to the front of the line, or like we're trying to push people aside, right? Whether it's, our employees, our team members, or our families. Sometimes the drive takes over, and that's not necessarily great for us, right? What I found in kind of my writing here is that when we can harness that drive and also be compassionate, that's like a 10x multiplier right there.
Wow. So it's
Because
only going to help entrepreneurs.
yes, because what I found is that when we're compassionate to other people and to our team members, you can't be everything to everyone, right? But not only is it good for us, not only is it good for our team, it's good for our company or our companies. It's good for our clients, right? Because you can't scale you. We all know it, but we all try to do it, right?
Mm.
Oh, and by the way, teams that are like this, teams that are compassionate, not only do they get more done, achieve more of their goals, but they make more profit and they make more of an impact than their less competitive counterparts. It's also an incredibly effective recruiting and retention tool, right?
Wow.
Because
Wow.
nobody ever leaves an awesome boss. They don't. Once
That's
they
true.
once they work with you and they're like, that guy's amazing, or that girl's amazing, right? And this work, Carrie, stems from some deep reflection that I did
Yeah.
after my brother's death by suicide a couple years ago. And
Wow.
I was kind of like trying to figure out, what am I going to do with this experience, right? So my brother dies by suicide, and I'm just totally, emotionally overtaken, right? And I kind of start thinking about, how can I make this into not such a terrible thing?
Mm.
And I went through my brother's life, and I thought about my life, and I kind of came to this conclusion. And I could tell from some of the things that my brother left behind, if he had a little bit more compassion, maybe he would still be here today.
Like self compassion or other people?
From his leadership, maybe not, right? But the point of that is, when I started looking at my life, I realized that, and my clients' life, right, as a business coach, my clients' lives and their companies, I realized that whenever I've experienced true and transformative success, and whenever my clients have achieved it, it hasn't just been the drive. It's been that the compassion's been there too. Those are the moments that actually make us great, right? It's not the drive by itself, right? So that's kind of where the idea stems from.
What a way to honor his legacy and redeem the story.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I'm going to share a little bit about your website. Tell us more about you and your business.
Yeah, I think the first thing I want everybody to understand is that this is truly a passion project. All proceeds from this book go to Stop Soldier Suicide, which is a nonprofit which is dedicated to suicide reduction efforts for veterans and for the military. So this really, for me, is a passion project, right? My business, I have two businesses. I'm a commercial general contractor, so I have that kind of company. And then I'm an EOS implementer as well. So I've been coaching entrepreneurs the past 3 or so years on how to implement EOS. Oh, sorry, Carrie, you're on mute.
I love EOS. Sorry, I was coughing here. For the person who's not familiar with EOS, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So EOS is an operating system. It's just really simply, it's just a way to operate your business that makes it so you don't have to think about all the other things, right? And this isn't an EOS book. I just happen to also be an EOS implementer. And I think it's important to note that the point of this book, Carrie, what I want to do, my goal is to create 1 million compassionate leaders, because I know if we can do that, we will prevent 100,000 suicides. The math is there. I mean, that's the facts. And all we have to do is try.
Wow.
So in part of the book, I kind of start with this concept of we've got to start with ourselves, right? There's this idea that I think a faulty idea that compassion is number one, just going into somebody's office and saying, "Hey, what's up? How was your weekend?" And or it's something that maybe we do because we want something out of somebody, right? But that's
Sure.
not the case, right? Because they'll never care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying, hey, look, I'm going to affect massive change from the top down. And by working with the CEO,
Mm-hmm.
the leader, that's where I'm going to impact 1 million people.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's got to start with the leader, right? It can't start anywhere else in your company. And I think as leaders, as entrepreneurs, we dramatically underestimate the impact that we have on the people's lives in our charge, right? The people that work for us, they spend most of their waking time with us, right? So if that's not an awesome experience, it should be awesome for us and for our well-being, because just selfishly, I mean, we want our own, mental and physical health to be top notch, right? It should be awesome for their experience. It should be a good experience, right? And life's too short for it to be anything else, but it's got to start with ourselves, right? It's got to stop with that, with that drive. Sometimes comes that negative self-talk, right? Where we'll say, "Oh, how did you not close that deal?" Or "How did you do this?" Or "How did you F that up?" Come on, Cal.
Yeah.
And it's like, we can only treat others just a little bit less well as we treat ourselves, right? Like we can never treat them to the same standard, or at least that's what they see, right? Because when other people see that, they see that pain and they see that struggle, and they see that there's no room in our lives for them, right? There's no room in our lives to help our team. This guy's got his hands full. He can barely do his own thing, right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Talk to us about, I love these 3 things. So powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Control to trust, scarcity to abundance,
Mm-hmm.
arrogance to abundance. Can you talk a little bit about some of that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. When we think about this notion of control, right? A lot of us as entrepreneurs, we think we're in control, right?
Sure.
And we're really not. There's very little that we have control of.
Yeah.
And the bigger our organizations get, the less that we control, right? So the quicker that we can pivot towards trust and towards genuine trust of other people, letting go and saying, "Hey, they've got it. They can do it," right? Because it's not compassionate to hire somebody and then micromanage the crap out of them, right? That's just
Right.
and that kind of goes towards the arrogance side of things, right? That's where kind of the arrogance comes in. We think we know everything, right? Sometimes we do, right? Sometimes we think we know it all. But I would say a lot of times when I let my team do something and I say, like, "You know what, I'm going to let them do this. Let me see where this goes." 90% of the time they come up with a solution that works pretty well.
Wow.
Maybe it's not the thing that I would do, but it's
Sure.
something that, like, wow, this is actually better for the business most of the time, right? Occasionally not. Occasionally we have to step in and put our foot down and say, "Hey,
Sure.
nope, I've got to make the call," right? Because it's almost like our business is like a tree. Have you ever heard of this analogy?
No.
So if a tree loses some leaves, what happens to the tree? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like
False.
it's fall. It's actually natural and normal and good, right? For some of those leaves to fall off, right? But if something happens to the roots or something happens to the trunk of your tree, then we've got an issue, right?
Wow.
So one kind of technique that I encourage to get towards trust is thinking about our business as this tree during our engagements with our team members, right? And thinking about, all right, is this a leaf that we're talking about? Or is this the roots? Is this a trunk? Is this a
Wow.
critical issue? Is this the font on the website? Like, yeah, I don't care. Like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Order the new shirts, right? Like,
Yeah.
or is this, hey, we're having a problem with our biggest client here. No, I'm going to step in and we've got to get
Gotcha.
right.
So leaders can sometimes not have the right priority and appear very non-compassionate
Mm-hmm.
by stepping in when it's really just a minor issue. It's like you actually erode trust with your team because they're like, why does he trust us?
You erode trust and you waste your own time too. We all do it, right? And it comes back to one of these concepts that I kind of talk about, which is self-awareness, right? We have to be present in the moment and be self-aware to not have that automatic reaction of, I need to tell them and what to do.
Yeah.
This is something I need to weigh in on, versus, well, let me get a better feel for this. Explain that to me, asking genuinely curious questions instead of judging and saying, oh, have you thought about like doing this? It's like, we're just telling in question form, right?
So I'm feeling like your book talks a lot about self-awareness, and you know, I've had an uncle commit suicide, and it you know, I was young, I don't remember it fully, but I mean, suicide touches a lot of people today.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying that part of suicide could be this, you're a leader who's very hard on themselves.
Yeah, I think that this book is designed to tackle the issue in two different ways, right? It's designed to prevent suicide in our communities by creating this compassionate mindset in each of these companies, right? But it's also designed to prevent it from the entrepreneurial standpoint, right? Because some of entrepreneurs, it's stressful, man. It's hard. We put it all on the line, and it can get pretty heavy. And the time to you know, in the military, I was in the military, and we used to talk about, you know, we want to make our training harder than the actual deployment, right?
Oh yeah.
Because the time to be ready for the hard times is when things are great, right? So the time to invest in this is now, before things get really hard, right? We want to build these muscles. We want to build these kind of battle drills, if you will, before things get really difficult, and we need to rely on them, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Look at you, man. Can you see my video?
Yeah.
Talk to us. I mean, first of all, thanks for your service. That's powerful, though. So this, I mean, you literally were on the battlefield.
Yeah, that was in Ghazni, Afghanistan, 2013, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was in the infantry. I was in the 101st Airborne Division. Then I was in special operations during the global war on terror. I was in for about 10 years. Yeah, it was a pretty formative experience. And I think, you know, the military was incredible in that the diversity, the neurological diversity, right? The ethnic diversity, just total diversity of you name it. I mean, all different types of people and backgrounds and all different types of perspectives. And we got to figure out a way to make it work. It's almost like, it's like the true, you know,
entrepreneur right there, right?
The true like fabric of America, right? Yeah. Pretty entrepreneurial, right? If you think about it, like part of it is, right. Obviously the military is not entrepreneurial, but by any means, but yeah.
I imagine though, there's some skills, like maybe I'm speaking out of ignorance, but if you think a mission's supposed to go this way or the order's supposed to go this way, there's always a disruption. There's always things don't go as planned. So I imagine you have to be a little bit innovative.
Yeah, you have to be very flexible and adaptable, right? It's like we used to say, if you fail to plan, your plan will fail, right? So just because things never survive first contact is what we say. Or what does Mike Tyson say? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right?
Yep.
So the same kind of thing, right? But that doesn't mean we don't plan, right? We still want to have a plan, but we just know, hey, if it doesn't go well, we're going to adapt, we're going to adjust, right? Yeah. It's interesting too, because transitioning from the military to the civilian world, it's a different level of danger, but the danger is still there, right?
Wow. How so?
So in the military, the danger is a physical danger. I'm worried about my own livelihood and the life of my guys, right? In the civilian world, obviously, it's, as an entrepreneur, it's a financial danger of like, hey, I'm worried about, you know, am I going to make payroll maybe? Yeah. Right. Or is this client going to come through? Are we going to be able to hit our revenue goal? Right. In the military, you never have to worry about, you know, you never have to worry about putting money back into the military. Like they're good. Like they're going to be fine. Right. Yeah. But in the civilian world, there is this danger. But at the same time, right, when we're going through and we're looking at our problems, you know, in our business, hey, at the end of the day, nobody's going to die, right? We'll figure it out. Like, it's not life or death, right? But in this case, it kind of is. So that's kind of a tie back, and that's kind of the way that I think about, how important this conversation and how important that this concept is it is life or death. It's our own lives, right? We got to take good care of ourselves. We got to take care of our team. I mean, these people chose you. They could have chosen anybody, right, to dedicate most of their waking hours to, and they chose you. It's an honor, right? And we're entrusted with their welfare in a lot of ways. And to do that well is incredibly rewarding.
Wow. So let's say the book's out for a few months and you say to your wife or colleagues, I feel like the book's doing really well. What do you hope happens?
I would love to get, so on my website, I have a,
we're going to go calriley.com.
Yeah, I have a pledge, and I would love to see a couple thousand people sign that pledge to become a compassionate leader. If you go to, now we'll see if it's actually up there. It was up there at some point. There should be a take the pledge.
Sweet. But there will be either way. Right?
It's in the
I got it. It's under /book.
Yeah, it's in the book. So take the pledge. That's really what I want. Look at that total pledges. So we had 23. 23 is not bad before the book even comes out. I would really love it if you'd read the book first, because I think reading the book tells you what the pledge is really about.
Gotcha.
But I'd love to see people take that pledge just for themselves. There's a self-assessment that people can take to kind of see, hey, how am I doing at this, right? And I think some of those questions will surprise a lot of people. But it's a good time just to take some time for ourselves to think about, how am I doing at treating these people? Because when we treat our people really, really well, we're outsourcing a lot of the energy of our company, right? We're letting them put all the energy in, right? So our role is like the chief compassionate officer of the company, really.
Oh, that's good.
Because if we can energize them, you've got 10 people in your company that are only, engaging 10% of their mental, abilities, right? If we can get them to 70%, like, holy crap. That's a huge ROI, right? Because when they know that you care, they are going to go to battle for you. They really will. They're going to put it all on the line. They're going to really surprise you.
These are tough questions, man. Wow. These are not ones that you just, wow. This first one, I'm able to be kind to myself in my own mind, even if I make a mistake. Ooh, that's tough.
Yep.
There was another one that I thought was pretty, when something goes wrong, I'm curious and I seek to find out why, that rather than blame. How much would the world be better for leaders with that? So basically you're taking these 10 questions and you're saying this is part of what's being a compassionate.
Yeah. And this is just more on building the awareness, right? So who am I? How am I doing? Right.
Totally.
I think the assessment helps with us to think about, where can I maybe improve a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And this stuff isn't, I don't want the listeners to think that, I'm over here levitating on the other side of the screen. Like, I still mess this up all the time, right? Like, I am not perfect at this. I've come a long way. I've still got a long way to go, right? But the goal isn't, we don't have to be perfect at it. We just have to try. That's all we have to do.
It's powerful. And
thank you.
I'm looking at this, and again, I know you mentioned it, but wow, 100% of the proceeds stop soldier suicide. September is suicide prevention month. This is cool stuff. So you really are trying to create a movement.
Yeah, I want this to hopefully kind of catch fire, right? Or ignite, if you will. I'd really love it to be something that that does become a movement.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I think the other thing too is, I would love it if people that are listening, if if they get the book, and remember, all the profits go to Stop Soldier Suicide. After you read the book, send me an email, contact me, tell me if it helped you. Tell me that. That I think would be really good. I think for me, at the end of the day, Carrie, this is really about having the loss of my brother to really mean something and to help somebody, right? If I get a couple of those, I think that would really make my day, honestly.
That is cool.
Yeah.
As we land the plane here today, tell us how this and EOS Implementer actually work together. Because I mean, I think I know it's, and I think it's pretty powerful, but let's talk about how both.
Yeah. I think, I think that I don't think that you can. I think running a company, the opposite of compassion, running it on just simply the numbers, just simply what you want to get out of it. I think people will find that's a pretty empty way to live.
Yeah.
And I think if we really are being honest with ourselves and we reflect, even the most experienced entrepreneurs, the times that we've really enjoyed our business, the times that we've really enjoyed our lives,
Yeah.
have been the times when we did it together with a group, with our team helping us to, because they know that we care about them, right? Not the times when we've been like, hey, get out of my way, it's my turn, right?
Right. That's powerful. That's powerful. So I would encourage people. I mean, there's so many good reasons why to get this book. One is you're going to be a better leader, which we know if you're a better leader, everybody in your world benefits. If you're a dad, mom, brother, sister, you get it. Like by being more compassionate, everyone's going to benefit. That's one reason. Secondly, the profits are going to help in an incredible cause. Third, we're carrying on the memory of your brother. Uh, Fourth, like you just said when we started, you're actually going to be more profitable as a company. Attrition is going to go down. Retention is going to go up. So I think this is fantastic, Kel. I think this, and again, I love the concept, and I've never heard it. And I think that a lot of people have never heard these two words put together. So to me, that's intellectual property.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you for everything you've done to help make it real. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, folks, get the book. Go to calriley.com. Look at the pledge. Look at the assessment, and let's help the world in this day and age of a lot of depression and self-injury and suicide. The world needs this. Thanks for doing it, Cal.